Thanks, Mayor. And thanks for bringing up the apartment situation. I want to be clear that I do think it's a good idea to focus the funding on that. I have maybe a couple questions for you, Mike, but mainly want to tell you something that happened last Friday. I invited Chief McManus out to an apartment complex in my district. And I'd been out there before, but not exactly walked it. So invited the chief, some business leaders, business owners around the area went with us, as well as some neighborhood folk that live right behind the area. And I couldn't believe what I saw. The living conditions that these people were being asked to live in were completely unconscionable. There was whole buildings that were burned out, no recent fire. It had been like that for a long time. It smelled of roaches. There were children running around with all kinds of paraphernalia on the ground. And there were some safe officers with us that knew this place in and out. They'd been through it. And it was horrifying to be there. And we were there at like 10 o'clock in the morning, by the way. It wasn't like middle of the night, all kind of strange activity happening. And we're walking through the apartment complex, and the owner, or at least the manager, comes running out with all these papers in her hand, ready to explain all of it. And so we started asking questions, and the safe officers told me I don't know if darted is a verb, but I'm going to use it like that. Yeah. It had been darted. I don't know how many times. They know about this. Our code officers are working hard. Our police officers are working hard out there. And the more I walked around the place, I'll admit, I was just getting angry, upset. And even the officers commented, I couldn't believe it. It was really, really upsetting to be there. And these individuals who, this is what they can afford, and they never one time have called my office, by the way. I've never heard from them. They're just living there. They're doing what they can to survive. And this owner who lives in California has sent this woman to come in. I'm getting pissed off thinking about it. I'm sorry, but left this woman here, the apartment manager, who had all of these, like, oh, we have plans for this, we have plans for that. But I'll tell you, at the end of the day, what she told me about what drove the company that she works for, and she patted her pocket, and she said, it's what we have here in our pocket. So I completely agree with you, Mayor. I wasn't going to actually bring this up today because I'm still a little hot about it, but I appreciate that you brought it up. I think we should focus these dollars on the apartment complexes. I think that the Apartment Association is doing a fantastic job of what they do, but actors like these are not part of apartment associations. They're on their own. They're not really paying attention to associations and extra rules and making sure that there are livable conditions for their tenants. So I just bring that up to say that I want to focus. I'd like to focus our dollars on our apartment complexes right now. And none of them even complained about water or the basics. But to me, just every step we took, there was something really awful to see. And it's affecting the business that was next door. There's the strip mall next door. All those businesses are being affected. They're improving their properties with lighting and doing what they can. The president of the HOA was there telling me about all the noise and the officers told me they found dead bodies rolled up in carpet. I mean, again, I've been out there before, but we didn't spend that much time, and we hadn't. I didn't really understand this from the community, so that's number one, my focus. I want to make that clear, but it's difficult dealing with an apartment complex owner that doesn't live here, doesn't seem that interested in improving the situation. So, I mean, this is kind of a big question, and it's more of a policy question, I guess, for us. But how do we take care of this when we don't have somebody who is invested in making it better? We're worried about their profit. So I guess that's more rhetorical. We'll talk about that another time. But I needed to bring that up and why I really think it's a good idea to focus right now. And other than what we know about, what we've seen at Seven Oaks, and this is an apartment complex that stayed, I think, under the radar, very much so. So it's not under the radar anymore. I'm going to keep bringing it up. But thank you.
Well, we'll talk after this meeting, because if we've darted it with the city attorney's office and PD, we probably have it, but we'll connect and we'll get to see the current condition.
Okay. I'm going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to
From what I understand, Councilwoman, we have darted, but that was a few years ago. And again, every time we dart, the objective is to identify the deficiencies work with that owner to correct them. But it's an ongoing, process.
And they're doing the bare minimum, if that. You know, I don't doubt that they're following as many rules as they can, but as soon as you turn around, they're going back to really deplorable living conditions. But okay.